Sonic Rumble. Sonic Rumble is releasing whenever, but that didn't stop me from playing it. And no, sadly, I'm not an official Sonic Rumble creator. I guess my application just got lost in the post. But look, there's my name on the screen. Don't believe me? Here I am playing with Sonic and Chip, which is conclusive proof that that is me, because I am the only one who likes Sonic Unleashed. A lot of folks are pretty on edge about this release. It was initially meant to release around Christmas time 2024, then it was meant to release early May 2025, complete with an announcement trailer with a CGI animation too. Holy hell, that's high profile. And now it's been delayed even further at the very last minute. What's going on with the game? Does it suck? Is it awful? Is it in production hell? Is anyone going to care by the time it releases? I mean, if I Love Sonic 1991 is posting on Twitter about how he's losing interest in the game, that surely means this is gonna be a ghost town, right? Well, if there's one thing I've learned, it's that anything is possible in the Netherlands. So let's rumble. Haha, that's my excuse for everything. I'm Dutch. I'm not actually Dutch, though. I'd love to be Dutch. Everybody loves the Dutch. So I've been hoping for an online multiplayer Sonic experience for a while now. The idea just goes hand in hand with the Sonic gameplay fundamentals. Get to the goal as fast as you can. It's a race against yourself effectively, so why not add another few players to the mix and see who can get the best time or grab the most rings or whatever. Even with the open zone formula, I can see potential for online multiplayer experiences as players divide and conquer to get objectives done and maybe work together to fight some bosses. But a good multiplayer Sonic experience is difficult to come by. Bless them, Sonic Superstars Battle Mode tried the whole Fall Guys thing, but fell flat on its face with a lack of content and dimensions. Well, moving forward to Sonic Rumble, once again, Fall Guys is clearly the overall template. In Ring Survival mode, which is the default main mode, you enter a match with 3 rounds which have you competing for first place. Every round, the 8 weakest performing players get eliminated, which takes the form of them getting booted off of the podium, like they did in Superstars, like they did in Fall Guys. What you'll be doing for these rounds is selected at random, and there are 5 different game modes for these rounds. Starting off with the obvious, you've got Run, where the main objective is simply to get to the goal as you race against the other players through platforming-based obstacle courses. This is the game type that feels the most like your traditional Sonic gameplay. It's just a matter of navigating your way through a level with different routes to get to the goal as fast as you can. But you also really want to collect as many rings as you can to rise the ranks in the overall game. I'll admit, these levels are mostly what I'm here for. They're like traditional Sonic stages that are free to play on my mobile phone. The level design here is entirely built around the game's very simple playstyle, so it didn't set my ass ablaze like, say, Dream Team or Shadow Generations did, but these stages are better than the ones in Sonic Forces, so that's something. I'd even argue that the Starlight Carnival runs in this game are better than the ones in Sonic Colors. No, they don't look as pretty, but they're certainly more fun to play, purely for the fact that they are not 90% comprised of auto-running quick-step sections, meaning that this mobile game's take on Starlight Carnival feels less mobile gamey. That is crazy. For the level design for these stages, yes, it's all a little bit more compact, and in parts a little more automated than I'd want from a full-price console title, but it's just as well, it's not a fucking full-price console title, isn't it, you fish-fondling fruitcake? Then there's Survival. These stages typically take place in more of an arena environment filled with enemies and hazards, as you avoid these to reach the top 8 players in the match. Some of these can also take the form of Death Egg robot battles, where simply you have to avoid getting pushed off of the edge of the stage. You've got ring battles, where you're either in an arena or a circuit. Sometimes it's a stage that leads to an arena, and you need to pick up as many rings as possible as you go. This can be from rings scattered around the stage to destructible rocks, or ring kegs, or enemies, the works. There are also some unique twists, such as 2D stages, where you're being chased by a giant fish. These levels are just chock full of opportunities to grab rings. The Sky Sanctuary ring battle even has Aquis just spewing rings at you. You've also got Hunt, where it's up to you to gather the most points within the time limit. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I kinda struggled to really place this one. Hunt is effectively the same as ring battles. It's just that now, instead of rings, you need to farm points, except the way to get these points is typically by collecting rings. But you can also score points by destroying badniks or stepping on light blocks, etc. So there are some differences here. It's probably the most redundant game mode of the mix, but it did lead to some fun challenges. Then you've got the team activities that can take some different forms, from effectively playing basketball to having the most players make it to the goal first. They pack a lot of variety within just these round types, but it doesn't end there. For a standard run game, you could be traversing a number of different race courses in different environments from the Sonic franchise, and on top of that, you've got multiple variations of those locations too. I'd estimate on average you've got 3 run-style acts per zone, and then each zone gets 1 of each other round type on top of that. So there is variety built on top of variety. But all of the stages in Sonic Rumble come from a prior Sonic game. All of the fan favorites are being rolled out for this one. You've got Sonic Colors, Sonic Generations, Sonic Lost World, and Sonic Superstars. Alright, 50-50. And look, if you've seen my videos before, you will know how many times my metabolism has been slowed down by the sight of Green Hill returning in another Sonic game. But when it comes to a free-to-play, multiplayer mobile game, designed purely to introduce new fans to Sonic, how do we bring that Sonic theming over to this new genre? I'll tell you how: you bring back Green Hill Zone again. Like, I'm not a complete moron. Obviously, this was the kind of thing they were going to do for this game. But if Frontiers 2 has Green Hill Zone in it again, I'll get ya. So for Sonic Rumble, we've got Green Hill, Chemical Plant, Sky Sanctuary. Of course we have. We've got Seaside Hill, Starlight Carnival, and then you got Desert Ruins, Frozen Factory, Silent Forest, Lava Mountain, the majority of this game's levels going to Sonic Lost World, and then finally Pinball Carnival. Sonic Generations may end up matching Sonic Lost World's level count with the introduction of the upcoming City Escape stage. Yeah, okay, I guess you could logically say those stages came from Sonic 1, 2, 3 and Knuckles, and then Sonic Adventure 2, but shut up. Those are generation stages now as far as I'm concerned. Especially when they're all paired up like that. If I see Speed Highway, it's gonna be a Sonic Generation stage. But if I see something like Pyramid Cave, okay, fine, yeah, Sonic Adventure 2, undoubtedly. Okay, so that's 10 levels, each with an average of about 3 run acts, sometimes 2, and then the other stars on top of that. So you're getting a lot of content out of just the Ring survival mode in this game. Probably even more content than what Sonic Forces, a fully paid game, offered. And the level design is generally better than that game. I don't know if that's a testament to how good Sonic Rumble is or a testament to how bad Sonic Forces is, but nah, you know what? No, I really like what Sonic Rumble has to offer. We're also getting Sweet Mountain as well eventually, so that will be 12 locations. Then you've got another game mode, which is Squads, which unfortunately I've barely touched because the mode is almost never open when I'm online. So sorry, I don't really have any footage of that one to show you. You've got Quick Rumble, which allows you to play just a single round, which is available 3 times a day. You've also got the Challenge Battle mode, which is effectively the single player option for this game. As you run through the game, you'll earn stage panels, which can unlock these challenge battles. These allow you to replay any stage and any game type, with a time limit for the run and survival stages, or collection quotas for the other stage types. You've got difficulty options for these challenge battles, and you've also got the option to play as just yourself or a team of 4. However, quotas are raised for teams to make it fair. Finally, there is the 5th mode, which is simply custom matches. You can choose who you're playing with, how many rounds there are, which levels, which challenges, and this also doubles up as a practice mode. So if you want to simply explore these stages by yourself, while you've still got a time limit, you might as well just go hog wild. Play it like it's a conventional Sonic game, why not? It's a better one than Sonic Forces, and I know I keep saying that, but Sonic Forces isn't even the worst Sonic game I've ever played, so really this isn't bad. Guys, you really want to buy this. Prepare to be enticed. First for Figures have launched Figgies, a new collectible that's really gonna knock your socks off. And doesn't ask you to remortgage your who am I kidding? None of you have mortgages. Affordable! They're affordable, that's what I mean to say. And First for Figures have very kindly sent me their very first Sonic Figgies. And what you get in this little box here is a really nice pixel recreation of your favorite characters. It's magnetized, and you get a double-sided metal backing plate to display display your characters on. But what really amazed me is that inside the box you also get a display stand and a piece of adhesive tape, so whether he's a desk buddy or a wall art, Sonic here is here to watch over me and make sure I'm working hard. A really cool little detail is that hero characters face right and enemy characters face left, so you can build your own little face-off with your Figgies characters. The Figgies also come with scannable QR codes, so you can register your Figgies on the app, keep track of which ones you have and haven't got in your collection. You get a little scratch card which can lead to rewards, and Figgies is also one of the few merchandise lines to get the whole chase system right. If you wind up with a chase variant, you could end up with a gold, silver, or bronze backplate for your Figgies character. However, this is in addition to the default backing. So unlike other chase schemes, you're not missing out on anything. So in the description below is my special link for you to register your interest in Figgies, which launches in just a little under a month. The standard retail price for Figgies is $14.99. And if you sign up with my referral link during pre-launch, you'll get a discount code for 5% off of your first order. It's a super cool, artistic little collectible that has a nice premium feel to it, with so many different ways to display it that frankly, if you don't have one of these, you are probably super uncool. Go, young buck, collect them, see what other ranges they have. Video resume now. So there's a lot that you can do here. The game is jam-packed with content, and I know when the first beta was made playable, a lot of folks said that the game could get repetitive or the novelty could wear off quite quickly, but at the stage it's at now, I think there's a lot to chew on here, and you can find yourself sinking a surprising amount of hours into this. But okay, we've got lots of content, but is any of it good to actually play? So, across the board for all these different challenge types, we have a singular playstyle. So it's one that needs to be versatile, easy to pick up, and considering that this is a mobile title, fairly simple. The playstyle is also the same across all the characters, so there's no need to kind of learn and relearn, and because it's a simple playstyle, there's not going to be a massive gulf in basic fundamental skill between a new player and someone who's been playing for a bit. Your strategy, what routes you take, will set you ahead of or behind others. So it's not like, say, Marvel Rivals, where, oh boy, I can't wait to try this out. Spider Swing! Everybody has a chance to get good. So for the actual gameplay and control, yes, this game may have the look and structure of a Fall Guys clone, but it doesn't feel like one. With Fall Guys, the characters are deliberately clumsy, and that's kind of the whole gimmick. Sonic Rumble is comparatively light and zippy. The game isn't speedy in the conventional sense when it comes to Sonic. You're not going to be picking up huge amounts of speed and boosting like a maniac. It's more just navigating the areas quickly with the resources you have. There are lots of dash panels and shortcuts around. Sometimes you've got rotating dash panels that can send you directly into danger depending on their angle, which is kind of inspired. That's one of a few ideas in this game that I think could be effectively implemented into a mainline Sonic title. You've got basic camera movement using the touchscreen. You've got a simple jump and double jump, which does what it needs to do. It keeps the little speed you do have in this game and navigates nicely enough. I will say movement-wise, while what we have here is perfectly versatile, I do think we could go further with the Sonic influence. We've got big hills and slides. What if we could gain an advantage by having a roll button that allows us to roll down these? Apparently there is a new game type coming with a boost function, so I'm intrigued to see that. For now though, the movement is basic, somewhat zippy, and it does the job, providing the player with a simplified take on the general breezy Sonic movement. You've got your basic attack, which can be used on enemies, obstacles, and crates, and then you've got your special attack, which can be found in item capsules. This gives you a powerful homing attack that you can only use once before needing to replenish, so the overall item balancing in this game is very good. The difference is that this homing attack can attack other players and steal their rings, which always feels like the height of dishonor whenever it happens to me, but when I'm granted one of these, I'll rarely hesitate. This is a super powerful little move though. Got a player that's pretty ahead of you in a tough platforming section? Now you can just home in on the player, steal their rings and their place, and it can be used as an air dash as well, a capability the basic attack doesn't have. And then you've got lots of other item capsules containing things like basic shields, the Thunder Shield, which magnetizes rings and can stun other players, speed shoes, which allow you to traverse faster, and traverse the slower terrains such as thick snow that you'd otherwise just trudge through. And finally, there's the extreme gear boards which allow you to skip a chunk of the stage. But if you see these around, you're probably lagging behind a little. These are equivalent to the All-Star moves in the Sega All-Stars racing games. You've also got emotes and stickers. For stickers, it's basically just a speech bubble with a little animation inside it. It can be used to greet a character you recognize or something like that. Then you've got emotes, which are effectively like Fortnite emotes. This headbang emote appears to be the crowd favorite, and I can absolutely see why, because it is precious. Some emotes are exclusive to certain characters, such as the flying move for Silver, the charging up for Metal Sonic, or the Chaos Spear for Shadow. I don't really have any footage of those, so for now you're just gonna have to enjoy the Scrunklies headbanging. Surprisingly for emotes like the Punch, if you do these within range of another character, they'll stumble back, which is just a lot of fun. I can punch other players. Excellent. Lord knows I've always wanted to punch my fellow Sonic fans, and now I can finally do it. These can also be leveled up to give you bonuses at the end of rounds, but I'll say this. Your window of opportunity to use these is incredibly small, especially in non-race game types where there's no finish line to just chill with the other players. Given that they're delaying this game, I think it would be extremely cool to have an interactive lobby where we can just chill and emote with others. Perhaps this could replace the matchmaking loading screen, perhaps a hub world of sorts. Although with the loading screens, whenever you touch the screen, little stars pop out. On the loading screen, I like to just make little stars appear around Sonic. It's like he's invincible. Yeah, go on Sonic, woo! Characters can also be paired with buddies, which gives bonuses and fan service ranging from different Chow to Froggy, the Coco, and even Chip. I was thrilled to see Chip return. My main was Shadow and the Skeleton Chow for the longest time until I unlocked Chip, and it's got me simply playing as just Sonic for that reason. At last, Sonic Unleashed 2. You've also got events with rewards. Right now there's a Sega crossover event where you can unlock characters from Monkey Ball, Altered Beast, and Fantasy Zone by collecting Sega logos and spending them on mystery boxes containing your rewards. You've got a two-tiered season pass consisting of a free version and a paid version. The paid version typically having better rewards and more characters to unlock, but I'll be honest, there were very few characters I wanted that I couldn't just earn, at least that I know of. There's a regular rotation of different characters in the item shop that can be bought for rings and red rings, and so you can still have fun and grab rewards with even just the basic version of the game. That being said, when playing for free, there is a limit on how many rings you can collect in-game in a day. However, that doesn't seem to apply to rewards, which this game absolutely showers you in, creating dozens of excuses for itself to just throw in-game currency at you, including the rings that are capped in-game. And Lord knows there are a lot of different in-game currencies here. You've got your rings and red rings, but then there are your challenge panels, fruits which can be used to level up your buddy character, and emote pieces which can be used to level up emotes. You can easily gain these currencies by completing tasks on the Season Pass, or completing tasks for the Chaotix Detective Agency, leveling yourself up, playing the challenge battles, which is a great way to score red star rings, and then there's Amy's request and Eggman's request, which lead to, you guessed it, more rewards. That's not to say that the microtransactions are completely worthless. I've never seen Soap Shoes Sonic or the Riders Gear characters become available unpaid, so there are limits. They got the Riders Gear beta versions in the Red Ring store though, so not only is that really cool, it's just a deep cut. Obviously, these characters have to be incredibly curated. This is Sega after all, so don't expect the Freedom Fighters to be popping up in the item store. I know, it's bullshit, but it's Sega. But they've packed the game with a roster of fun characters from the Sonic and Sega history, as well as Zavok, who continues to baffle me as to why he's here, and if Sega are pushing him so hard, why no action figure? We all know why. Sales projections are minus 10 action figures sold. How that even works? I don't know. I guess some fan out there manifested these into existence and then sold them back to the retailer. They'd have to pay me to buy an action figure of fucking Zavok. They actually did make an action figure of Zavok, but it was exclusive to a 25th anniversary 3-pack in a pre-Jack-specific 3-inch line. The only way to sell Zavok was to pair him with two other figures, one of which was Sonic, and the other was Infinite. I'm all for incorporating all corners of Sonic history, but with Zavok, Sega just embarrassed themselves. And continue to embarrass themselves every time this fucker shows up. Sonic doesn't need a Bowser. He never needed a Bowser. Fuck Zavok. So Sega, really, take the hint. See that big sheet of characters you've got there? Any one of those characters, I'll take them over Zavok. Give me fucking Lara Sue before you give me Zavok. Give me Wanda Whipple before you get... Actually, no, that's going too far. Hell no. Give me Wade Whipple before you give me Zavok. There are limits, though. There's still definitely further we can go. We're getting movie Sonic, but I'd love to see Infinite or Mephiles. Maybe some of the classic Sonic cast. Or Sega can quit being cowards and just add Sally Acorn or something. Surprisingly, no IDW rep either, which is a shame given how hard other Sonic mobile games have gone in that department. No super forms either, but you can play as pre-made avatars from Sonic Forces, so that's something. Room for improvement, I'd say, but there's still quite a bit of variety to collect here. So there is kinda a story to this game. There was an opening cutscene in the early beta, and the story is hinted at in the most recent trailer. Basically, Dr. Robotnik has created his own board game using toy versions of the Sonic characters, and Sonic is in it to beat the Doctor at his own game. Now, this story itself isn't really present in the current version of the game, but Sonic Rumble does something I've been dying to see from Sonic for literally over a decade now. We've got a game where the art style is influenced by the story and project rather than just using the stock art styles of classic and modern Sonic. Hell yes, please, more unique art styles for Sonic games, thank you. Every element of this game is made to look like a plastic toy. Familiar level themes aren't brought back to reuse assets, instead they've been retranslated into this new plastic toy art style. And that toy art style goes harder here than it does in your average LEGO game, because everything looks like a toy. Stages are like elaborate playsets with hinges and different functions. The characters look like the kind of hollow plastic toy you'd find in a mystery bag, and holy hell, you guys, please make Sonic Rumble blind bags. I would 100% buy them. The way these models look, the way they've been proportioned is completely unique to this game here, and it absolutely pays off because it looks wonderful. Aesthetically speaking, is it my ideal Sonic game? No. But in terms of getting the aesthetic down for a Sonic game taking place in a toy world, I don't think the designers could have done a better job than they have. Now, my footage probably isn't going to be doing this justice, as I've never paid more than $200 for a phone. When it comes to tech, I've got an affinity for the cave with a box of scraps approach. In other words, I'm poor and I'm making do. There is one little discrepancy when it comes to the visuals, though. One thing that bothers me, and it's a nitpick, but you gotta pick your nits, otherwise you're not gonna have any scalp left. It's basic hygiene, you filthy fucks. Why is Tails in a completely different art style to the other characters? All the other characters have brand new models. Whoa, it's insane to be saying that about a Sonic game. Except for Tails, who is just reusing his existing model, but with slightly adjusted proportions. And it shows. Even just his eyes look different than the other characters. He looks unbelievably out of place here. Well, was there like a plot reason for this? Was Tails gonna be just inhabiting this toy world? Even just down to the face shape. All the other characters have these new, more rounded face shapes. Tails doesn't, and it's so weird. The soundtrack as well. It's got this nice sort of carnival-esque vibe, going more for a big brass band versions of the different level themes. Although Green Hill Zone gets a new theme, and Chemical Plant remixes its theme from Sonic Forces, which has been done because Dreams Come True own the rights to the Sonic 1 and 2 soundtracks. Is there anything Sega actually owned the rights to? Who knows? But this is a great soundtrack that feels very high budget and contributes to the party atmosphere of the game. Pretty much my only complaint with Sonic Dream Team was that the soundtrack was just very non-present and, well, mobile gamey, as was the UI. Sonic Rumble fortunately improves upon this aspect tenfold. I really enjoy this remix of the Chemical Plant theme. It's nice to finally have one with realistic sounding instruments, as opposed to that gloimpy, wimpy Mega Drive sound chip they use for the Sonic Forces classic music. Alright, so, overall, Sonic Rumble is the kind of mobile spin-off that is far better than it has any right to be. There's tons of content to enjoy, variety stacked upon variety. It's wonderfully presented, approachable to newcomers, and I'm quite confident in saying, while not my ideal multiplayer Sonic experience, this is the kind of multiplayer game that Sonic has needed for a while now. For what it is on its own 2 feet, it is oozing charm and rapid flow fun. I found it technically to be very well put together, experiencing minimal glitches. This is a solid little online game for Sonic fans that I think has all of the makings of a big hit. And I think Sega are probably well aware of that, hence why they're so comfortable dicking us around on that release date. Looking at the game we have now, and looking at the delays and what Rovio intend on implementing into this game, it's screaming budget increase. Like Sega have seen the game, seen the dollar signs, and given Rovio a little extra time to flesh this one out even further, to which I say, let them cook. If the game releases in the summer or the fall, I'd say what we already have is worth the wait, especially as a free-to-play title. Now, of course, they have been running events prior to the global launch, and during Q&As, the developers have said that most of the prizes from these events will become available post-global launch, but they can't guarantee all of them will be. And I'm just gonna say this straight up, that is absolute bullshit. To run events before the game is globally launched where people can unlock their favorite characters, only to have no guarantee that they'll be able to unlock those characters when the game actually becomes available in their territory, is absolute bullshit. There's just no getting around that, no dressing it up. These are probably mostly variants and alternate looks, but still. Absolutely everything you could win in the pre-launch should be available to win post-launch at some stage. Everything. There should not be a single cosmetic that is not available post-global launch. Well, it's at least a better rollout than Sonic Origins. I'm guessing the reason they've delayed the global release is probably because it's easier to maintain the additions and changes ahead with only a few countries than it would be to implement all this new content on a global scale. I think they're definitely pushing it with these delays, but I can tell you straight up, you're probably gonna really enjoy this. I get that it's really frustrating, but also, Sonic fans, listen to me. You're not losing interest. Stop fucking kidding yourselves. If you're logging into Twitter, into your account with your Sonic profile picture and Sonic cover photo, you're not losing interest in this game. At the absolute worst, you'll forget about it for a bit, see it's available now, and then what do you think is gonna happen? What, you're not gonna download it? Because you, Sonny Overlover 06, lost interest? Sure, right, okay. This is a free-to-play mobile game akin to Fall Guys. It's gonna do fine. Might even impress some folks and launch some merch lines along the way. I sure hope so. But Sega or Rovio, please get back to me on that creator scheme. I applied for it, I swear. There was an outage which led to a lot of applications getting lost, and I was emailed asking me to reapply, and I never got it. Stinks. Game good, wait and see. The video is over now. Get out.